Okay, so last associative learning that we're going to be talking about. Observational learning, yay! So we finally made it to the end of the tree, woohoo! And observational learning is super cool, so I'm excited. So, what is observational learning and why is it important? Well, let's start with some examples. So, if you watch your friend stick his tongue to a flagpole and then it gets stuck, how likely would you be to do that? His pain should inform you that maybe that's a bad idea. And maybe that should decrease the likelihood that you would do that. This is a type of observational learning. Or, if you see a large crowd running in one direction in a panic, but you don't know why, you just see it. You see a lot of people just running in one direction, and they clearly look scared. Would you start running too? Most people would, because they would just assume that that crowd of people knows something that they don't, and that they need to run as well because something is coming. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's a survival tactic. Because maybe there's a monster chasing them. Maybe it's zombies. Or maybe it's a fire or some sort of natural disaster. So, observational learning. It is learning by watching others. It's also called modeling. So, modeling is when the person that you're observing is doing the behavior and then you're modeling that behavior. So, why would this be useful? Well, because we don't have all the time in the world in our lives. We can't do every single behavior and learn from it. And it would be dangerous too. It's beneficial for us to watch others and learn from their mistakes rather than have to make the mistakes ourselves, because that would waste a lot of time. So, when has this happened to you? Everybody has had observational learning. Think about some of the observational learning that has occurred with you. Have you taken a karate class and you've learned moves from another person? Have you watched a friend in a toxic relationship and been like, I will never do that? So, the famous study that really got the ball rolling with observational learning is Bandura's Bobo doll study. This really validated the concepts of observational learning, especially in humans and especially in children. They showed children an image of a man or a woman, which was the model, interacting with a Bobo doll. And there were 3 different conditions. So they saw a live interaction of the man or a woman, a filmed recording, or a cartoon depiction. And if you're wondering what the heck a Bobo doll is, it's this thing. So there's a lot of weight down here at the base, so you can like hit it or whatever, do whatever up here, and no matter how low it gets or knocks over, it will still pop right back up. So, all of the models were punching and kicking and hitting the doll in these images, in this live interaction, the film recording, and the cartoon depiction. They were all being fairly violent with the Bobo doll. They were punching, kicking, and like straight up beating this doll. And then the children were let into a room to play with a bunch of toys. And guess what? One of them was a Bobo doll. What's interesting is the children behaved like the model towards the doll. So this included punching, kicking, and hitting. And they even got a little bit more aggressive than what the models did. And this was true for all of these conditions. This behavior was modeled regardless of what condition they were in. So we can see a video of this firsthand.
Learning aggressive styles of behavior through modeling. Children watched a filmed adult perform aggressive acts toward a inflated doll, and the physical aggression was accompanied by novel, hostile remarks. We later measured how much of this model aggression children had learned just by watching. The measurement of learning of aggression uses simulated targets rather than live ones. For example, test how well volunteers have learned bombing strategies. Use simulated targets rather than require them to bomb San Francisco or New York. The model pummeled the doll with a mallet, flung it in the air, kicked it repeatedly. Threw it down and beat it. It was once widely believed that seeing others vent aggression would raise the viewer's aggressive drive. As you can see, exposure to aggressive modeling is hardly cathartic.
And that little boy got out a hammer. He means business. Yeah, so the kids learned this aggressive behavior by watching it in adults. So there's also other findings about observational learning. So it's not just about aggressive behavior, which is a big topic in observational learning, that children can observe aggressive behavior in adults and then learn that behavior. But there's a bunch of other findings about other behaviors that animals and humans can learn from other animals and humans. So we found that monkeys that see other monkeys respond fearfully to snakes learn to fear the snake too. And what's really interesting about this is this happens even if the monkey was raised in a laboratory and has never seen a snake before. So what they did here is they had an initial monkey that was trained to fear snakes. And then they had another monkey observe that monkey being afraid of snakes, which made the monkey observing also afraid of snakes. And then they took away the monkey that actually saw the snake, because when the monkey they showed with the snake, it was like a rubber snake, it wasn't a real one. They took the conditioned monkey that observed the other monkey with another naive monkey, and then they took another rubber snake and had the other monkey observe the fear in that one, and that one learned fear of the snake as well, even though neither of them have ever seen a snake before. They both learned to be afraid of it. Crazy. And rats have also been found to learn through observation for a couple of ways. So they can actually learn observation through humans. So an experimenter can toggle a joystick a certain direction and show them that's how they get food. And then the rat comes up and does it that direction to get food and is correct. Or they watch another rat press a lever to get food, and then they know how to press that lever. They learn both of these a lot faster than rats that have not observed another being doing this. So, what is happening in the brain when all of this is occurring? So, that's kind of crazy stuff, right? Like, we can just see someone doing something and know that we shouldn't do it ourselves, or we should do it ourselves. So, we've actually found these specific types of neurons that might be responsible for this, and they're called mirror neurons. So, what these neurons do is they fire when a person or an animal is watching someone perform a behavior, and they also fire when that person or animal performs that behavior themselves. So, it's not only when you perform the behavior, but it's also when you see someone else do the same exact thing. Those mirror neurons fire both of those times. So we found this through studies with monkeys. We had a monkey do a certain task and recorded their neurons, and then we had them watch a different monkey doing the same exact task and recorded their neurons. And there were overlapping neurons. They had neurons that fired for both of them. There's also, this has been found in rats. This is primarily with fear conditioning studies. If a rat watches another rat getting shocked, they will have similar reactions to if they're getting shocked themselves. So does this mean that we have found the empathy part of our brain? Are these neurons responsible for empathy? If these neurons react to our own behavior and someone else's behavior, is that not empathy by definition? And if this is empathy, does that mean empathy is crucial for observational learning and learning in general? Because observational learning is incredibly important for survival. Very interesting.